Having explored the finance space in terms of CFA and now you're a management student, what would you say to someone who is choosing between the two? You have cleared CFA level 1 and level 2 in the first attempt, heads off. So, how did you manage this grind? Like level 1 and level 2 all together is no joke. Welcome to yet another podcast from Skill Sapiens. I'm your host Arpan, and today's episode isn't just about a conversation. It's a masterclass, a roadmap, a mythbuster. It's for every finance aspirant, a CFA aspirant, and dreamer who has always wondered what does it really take to break into the world of high finance. And today we are joined by someone who has walked that very path with great grace and precision. A name making waves from the halls of a prestigious B school to the elite desk at Arcesium. He's not just a CFA Level 2 qualifier, not just a management student, he is a rising innovator, a future leader, and a proud example of combining skill with purpose. Please join me in welcoming Gaurav Tulshian.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Arpan.
Gaurav, thank you so much for taking out time in a busy weekday to join us. I'm sure that the listeners are in for a very packed session into the world of high finance. So thank you so much for lending your time.
No, no, definitely. I'm excited too. I hopefully I can pass some knowledge to the listeners who will be going to listen to this. And thank you for inviting me here.
So without further ado, let's start from the top. So you began your undergrad in computer science from Heritage Institute of Technology, but now you're firmly in the finance space. So what exactly drew this transition? If you could dive into this transition, listeners would be interested to know about this.
So again, BTech was something which I really wanted to do from a long since my childhood. It was kind of ingrained into me that okay, you have to go and do engineering. So it was a pretty straightforward road for me till BTech. Once I reached Heritage, I saw the different people who came from a diverse background, and within BTech also there were a lot of domains which were there. So one of the places where I think finance stood out for me was when I joined the entrepreneurship club at Heritage and went on to become the coordinator for that club in my third year. So there I led students to different with whatever was being developed into the world, and we were discussing those. We had sessions regularly. We had guest sessions for that. So all those kind of inclined me towards the financial domain. Going after that, I joined Edelweiss as a private health intern there. So there I got to learn about the intricacies of what happens in the market. And that's where finance really took an eye for me. Like it was there where I understood, okay, how small we really are in this huge world and how big finance is a part of every single thing. Everything, be it product, be it a tech world, be it a sales world, finance is required each and everywhere, no matter what you are doing. Even if you're not into something technical with finance, you need to manage your personal finances. So everybody needs to be accustomed and equipped with the financial knowledge in today's world.
Thank you so much for this answer. So, before we finally dive into the finance, you also had a stint on experience with your family business at Sri Enterprises. So, did that experience play a major role in shaping your interest or understanding into the financial world?
Definitely. And it's not just the experience, full-time experience which I had there, but the culture of having a family business in your family is something which grooms you up towards a life where you have to take position and lead something. So when I was working in my family business, I had was not it is not something like in corporate where you have to just look after one aspect of your part, but in a whole you're managing quite a lot of things. So there, it really shaped me up in the way that I learned a lot of things which I would have not learned theoretically. It gave me a practical exposure into the real world when I had to manage a lot of domains at once, and I had no experience in that. So it really helped me to understand things at a very granular level, is what I would say, and not push me in any direction. again, I was looking after the financial investments at my family business. So, yeah, per se, I have spent 2 years working there. So, it again helped me flow towards my career goal of getting into the technical domain space of finance.
Thank you so much for this answer. I believe the people who are having family business could look into their family business from this lens. So, many days, like these days, people, what they are thinking is they choose to leave behind their family business or the existing ventures that have been built over a period of time, and they start to build something entirely new from scratch. So, what is your take on that mindset?
See, again, this is a very subjective problem, which I feel, and a growing one, because children nowadays have been, myself included, wanted to build something on our own. We want to be independent. We just don't want to be known by through a family name. This is what the rising trend which we have seen. So, my purview on that is that again, I do want to do something of my own. But what I thought about was instead of leaving the business entirely, what I can do is I can start and grow it into different domains. Because the world is a very big space and there is not, it's not limited to anything. If you have me being personally having been trained in the in the finance domain and having the computer science knowledge of tech side, so I can maybe lead the company and the business into a new direction altogether.
Right, right, right. So changing gears a bit, I believe that our viewers, a lot of viewers are MBA aspirants. So is experience in family business actually given true importance when it comes to MBA interviews?
So again, it is very different. I have given a lot of interviews for colleges. So what my take is that a lot of the interviews can have a positive look towards that, that in the sense that they actually feel that you have learned not just one domain, but multiple domains while working at a family business. But a lot of the interviews have had a negative aspect towards it and a negative outlook towards it because most of them feel that having a family business, you don't actually work there, you're just putting it on your CV, and that is really a negative. And especially when you cannot answer questions regarding that in your interviews, they really think that you have not worked, and can it is a boon as well as a stick which can hit you together. Because if you the interviewer is satisfied that okay, you have worked there and you have had sufficient experience and learnings to get from there, then it is a very big boon for you because they are really impressed by it. But if you are not being able to convince the interviewer about it, that okay, you have worked at the company and that you know the industry also. Because if you're showing a work experience, that means you have been working in the industry. And if you cannot convince the interviewer, then it's a very, very big downside for you in the interview. So it's a card which you'll have to play very strategically, I would say, and have to think about it and research about it a lot also.
So you talked about that this thing can have a negative side also. So there are a lot of people who think that this might be like the interviewer is thinking that the candidate is doing false kind of candidature, showing the work experience this way. And there are a lot of people who actually and genuinely have worked for their family business. So there is a tussle or skepticism between the students that they should let go of this family business experience and should show this as a drop year or should show family business as the experience. So what is better, like this making sure that okay, I have taken a drop year and ready to accept the questions of the drop year, or should I accept questions of the family business? What should be the approach?
It's a very relevant question, Arpan, I would say, because I myself was faced with that this question itself. Because a lot of my advisors had advised me not to mention because a lot of corporates again don't want you to have that kind of a backing for of a family business because they don't have a very positive outlook towards it. But personally, I did not choose to drop it. I had displayed it. I justified it to the interviewers during my RCSM interview as well as my MPA college interviews. And again, as I said in my answer before, it's something which you'll have to play very strategically. You can't just be very straightforward with it, and you'll need to take advice from a lot of mentors, people in the industry, and just think about it how you want to play it before you actually go ahead with it, because it can do wonders for you and it can take you back at least 10 steps also in the interview.
Right. Thank you so much for this answer. So let's invite the big elephant in the room, the CFA. So you have cleared CFA level 1 and level 2 in the first attempt, heads off. So how did you manage this grind? Like level 1 and level 2 all together is no joke.
Thank you so much, Arpan. Honestly speaking, it's all depends upon how passionate you are about it. Because I myself, be coming from a very tech background, I have had no formal education in accounting or any of those finance areas which people have thought about during my undergraduate or my school years. So coming from that, it is a taboo which people think that science students or people who don't have a background in finance cannot do CFA or CA or FRM for that fact because and it's not true, to be honest, because all you need is a passion to learn about it. Because once I started reading, once I took one of the chapters and I just started going through it, and it's very simple. You just have to have a basic understanding of what is happening, be dedicated enough to give enough time to it regularly, and just be very hardworking in this. Because if you are doing this day in, day out, you're learning, keep on revising it. And that's just all it takes to clear any professional exam for that fact, and not just CFA or FRM. And I would really recommend everyone, if even if you don't want to test on it, do go through the course material and the whatever teachings CFA has to give. You might want to give a test, you might want to have a degree of it. But even if you don't, just go through the reading material because it will really help you in life with your personal financing as well, as I talked about in the beginning, because that is the basics of what you will have to know about that.
Thank you so much for this answer. So, a lot of students have a toss up between CFA and MBA. So, they find themselves torn between the two. So, having explored the finance space in terms of CFA and now you're a management student, what would you say to someone who is choosing between the two?
Again, it's not a choice which you have to make that it's either one or the other. Both can go parallelly. In fact, a lot of my batchmates in at IMI New Delhi have registered for CFA level 1 after the first year of MBA itself. So, it all what CFA does is adds credibility to your resume. It's a globally recognized degree. And the qualifications when you show up for placements is that okay, I am pursuing an MBA and in finance, which and I am also pursuing CFA, which shows my commitment towards that domain itself. Because and honestly, it's as I said, I will reiterate, it's not a choice. It is definitely something which can be done parallelly. I would encourage you to again choose what you want to do if it aligns with your life goals. How ask the right questions. How if what doing CFA will help me with? If I want to go into the investment side, do I want to go into the research side of the finance investment business? And all these, once you get the answers to all these questions, you'll understand, okay, what the right choice for me is. Because there is no shortage of courses, professional courses in today's world. You have NISM, you have FRM, you have actuaries, you have tons and tons of online content which you can never finish, I would say. So think about what aligns with your career goals. If an MBA is the right choice for me, do I need to have that management degree with me? If a CFA is what I need, and then you need to make a choice. But it is definitely not a pick and drop the other one kind of scenario.
Right, completely agree. So there are a lot of myths surrounding finance, like it's all about numbers. The people who are not good with like maths should not do accounting or should not do finance, and CFA guarantees a job, and you need to come from a very good school. There are a lot of BCom honors graduate from Delhi University who actually master this domain. So what's your take on all these myths that are surrounding every finance aspirant?
Again, see, the finance industry in itself is very cutthroat. So, and what I have seen is that the finance industry or any industry is respecting only one and one thing, that is your skills. If today in the interview you can justify what you know, how well do you present what you know? Your knowledge is what matters at the end. As I told, CFA and MBA, all these things just add credibility to your skills. That okay, that I have a formal education in all these spaces as well, which just enhances my skills. So it all depends on how you present to yourself to the industry, like when was giving my interview at RCSM. My round two was rapid fire technical questions about finance. Every single that I had valuation, I had derivatives, I had equity and whatnot, everything, and on a very rapid fire situation. So after the interview, I'd asked the person, so what was the thought behind your line of questioning? So all they said that you are pursuing an MBA degree and you have mentioned that you have cleared CFA level 2. So now for a CFA level 2 person, what is required? I have asked you those questions that you should, this is the bare minimum which you should know. And if I was able to satisfy, that is why I'm working here at RCCM. And at that time, I would have not been able to satisfy. And then he would have also thought that it is not something which I'm learning per se, but it's just something I'm doing. There's a big difference in between and learning and doing. So I'll just say that learn and not just do.
I think your last lines actually sums up everything. So I think the viewers should take this note that you should always learn and not just do, because when you are learning something, it actually gets ingrained in your blood and you'll never be able to forget, and you'll be able to justify that in your interviews or in your life or in your work for sure. So there is also one myth that BTech students actually struggle when they are compared to commerce students. And it's very common because commerce students are having this background from class 11, they that get into BCom honors. A lot of people are CA articleships also. So how should, like, what is your take on this? How should BTech students manage?
So again, one of the things, this is a like how do I say this? But most of the students, management students in our country come from a BTech background. So, but again, to answer your question specifically, it's obviously there is a gap when if I'm studying finance today in my MBA school, I'm studying accounting. So someone who has had prior knowledge about that subject will obviously do will it will be easier for them. I'll not again say that they'll do better, because at the end it depends on how much effort you're putting into it. If for someone specifically per se, if you take me, if I have a knowledge about a subject and if I don't put in any efforts for that during my curriculum, then it will not reflect. But for this, on the other hand, if someone who's coming from a BTech background who is not who doesn't have any prior knowledge, but puts in the effort throughout this trimester and learns actually, again, learn, not just do, then they would definitely gain that knowledge and will be able to perform. And that is what whatever we do in life comes up to. If we are ready to put in the effort, if we are willing to put in the hours, then I believe that it will definitely reflect on your results as well.
Thank you so much for this answer. So one last piece of advice you would like to give to all the professionals who are management aspirants?
Choose carefully what you want to do. Think about every single college which you're applying to, every decision which you're taking. You're at a very critical juncture at life, because what you do is going to decide the next 30 years of your life at this moment, I believe. And don't just rely on what other people are saying. Don't just rely on what Arpan and myself are saying in this podcast. Do your own research. Talk to people in the industry, definitely. They'll be able to guide you a lot. And at the end, once you have taken that decision, just keep on, don't be afraid about it, what I'm doing, and just follow and keep learning. That is what I'll say.
Thank you so much for this answer. All right, Gaurav, time for a rapid fire, quick answers only.
Mm.
Your life mantra,
It's the same what I have said, learn and not just do.
favorite finance book,
Psychology of Money. It's a really nice book. I would definitely recommend everyone to read it.
hardest CFA topic for you,
It would be ethics,
stocks or mutual funds,
balance of both.
one financial habit everyone
Mhm.
should follow.
Invest.
Thank you so much for this great rapid fire. As we wrap up today's conversation, remember the world of finance isn't just about numbers, it's about vision. It's not just about balance sheets, it's about the balance we create in lives. Stay curious, stay driven, and let your journey be a journey of constant growth. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for sharing your insights. And to all the listeners, Keep building, keep listening, and the future will always be yours. Thank you so much for being there in this podcast, and thank you so much, Gaurav, for lending your time and sharing these insights.